All right, ready to dive into something incredible.
Let's do it.
The Sri Varadaraja Swami Temple in Kanchipuram, India.
Oh, classic.
It's not just any temple, though, right? This one's got, well, ancient city vibes, for one, a real melting pot of different religions.
And it's so revered, some say it offers a path to liberation.
No small claim.
Not at all. What gets me about Kanchipuram is, well, it's been a major hub of religion and culture.
For a while now.
For a long while, since at least the 2nd century BC.
Really puts things in perspective.
Think about it. That's before the Roman Empire was even a thing.
And through the centuries, so many dynasties.
Yeah, you had the Palavas, the Cholas, the Vijayanagar Empire.
All leaving their mark, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. On the city, on its spirituality, everything.
So we're talking serious history here.
Layers and layers of it.
But it can't just be the age that makes Kanchipuram stand out, can it? What else is there?
It's the blend, the unique blend of religions that all thrived there.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
You see, it wasn't just a Hindu stronghold, though it was certainly that. For centuries, it attracted Jains, Buddhists, Hindus of all different kinds.
All together.
And not just side by side either. They debated, shared ideas.
A real exchange.
Exactly. It created this amazingly dynamic spiritual atmosphere.
You mentioned a traveler a while back who was blown away by the people in Kanchipuram.
Oh, right. Hyun Seng, 7th century Chinese traveler.
That's the one.
In his writings, he called the people superior in bravery, learning, and piety.
To everyone else.
To everyone else he'd met in all of India.
High praise indeed.
The highest. And it really makes you think, this blend of faiths, it must have created something special.
A society known for its, what was it, wisdom and piety?
Right on the mark.
And right within this incredible city is where we find the Sri Varadaraja Swami Temple.
The heart of it all.
One of the Divya Desams, right?
Exactly. One of 108 temples.
Dedicated to Lord Vishnu.
And considered especially sacred.
No ordinary temple.
Yeah, not at all. This one sits right atop Kastigiri Hill, Elephant Hill.
Love the name.
Hints at some great mythology.
Oh, I bet.
The temple complex itself is vast, one of the largest in all of South India.
Wow.
5 enclosures, intricate carvings, towering gopurams, you name it.
Centuries of devotion, I imagine.
Absolutely, and architectural brilliance, too.
We've talked about the different dynasties.
Yeah.
How's that reflected in the temple's architecture itself? Did each dynasty have their own style?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. You can actually see the evolution as you walk through the temple.
Really?
You'll find structures from the Pallava period.
Known for.
Simple grandeur. Then you'll see more ornate additions from the Vijayanagar era.
Like a timeline in stone.
Precisely.
Amazing.
It's more than just a religious site, you know?
I'm getting that sense.
It's historical, artistic, a real treasure trove.
Now, the sculptures, what about those? What stories do they tell?
Oh, they're incredible. Just in Kalyana Mentapam alone, there are over 800 bas-reliefs. They depict scenes from the Ramayana, the Bhagavada Purana, even the temple's own origin story. It's Stala Purana.
800, that's a lot to take in.
It is.
I'm curious, the Ramayana, the Bhagavada Purana, what does that choice tell us about this temple's place in, Hinduism as a whole?
It's a deliberate connection, I think, between the worship of Lord Vishnu at this particular temple and the broader narratives, the values of Hinduism.
Okay.
The Ramayana emphasizes dharma, duty, righteousness.
Big concepts.
And the Bhagavada Purana that focuses on bhakti, devotion to God.
So by incorporating them, they're saying this isn't just any place to worship Vishnu.
It's more than that.
It's a place to, engage with these core principles.
Exactly. It's not isolated.
Part of a larger whole.
A tapestry of belief, tradition, all of it.
Every sacred place has an origin story, right?
Yeah.
What about this one?
Well, this one involves Brahma himself, the creator god.
Oh, wow.
According to the Stala Purana, he performed a grand yagna here in Kanchipuram.
A yanga, a ritual sacrifice.
That's it. And it was to appease Lord Vishnu.
And how did that go?
Vishnu was pleased, so pleased he emerged from the sacrificial fire.
In new form.
In a radiant form, as Vradaraja, the boon giver.
Ah, so that's where the name comes from.
That's it.
Boon giver. That suggests a compassionate deity, someone willing to, grant favors.
That's at the heart of understanding Lord Virataraja.
Compassionate, ready to help.
Always ready for those who seek his blessings with sincere hearts, of course.
Of course.
This idea of divine grace, it's everywhere in the temple.
Not just in the name.
In the name, the stories, the legends, everything.
You mentioned something earlier about Kanchipuram being one of the 7 mokshapuris in India.
Right.
I'd love to hear more about what that means. Why is it so significant?
That gets to the core of why Kanchipuram is considered so sacred.
Okay.
Mokshapuri, it means city of liberation.
Liberation from what?
It's believed that pilgrimages to these 7 cities, they can lead to liberation from the cycle of rebirth.
And Kanchipuram stands out even more
Because it's revered by both Shaivites and Vaishnavites.
the 2 major branches of Hinduism.
Precisely. So those seeking liberation through Shiva or Vishnu, they can find their path here.
Powerful stuff.
It really is. Speaks to how inclusive Kanchipuram's spiritual landscape really is.
A city that embraces multiple paths.
A true crossroads.
So we've got this ancient city,
Mm-hmm.
steeped in history, spirituality,
And home to this magnificent temple.
dedicated to a boon-giving deity.
It's a lot to take in.
And it's a place where people believe they can attain liberation.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure.
I'm hooked. Where do we go from here?
Well, let's dive into those captivating stories of divine intervention that you mentioned earlier.
I'm all ears.
We'll talk about the saint who couldn't pay his taxes, the elderly devotee who couldn't travel to the temple, and even a British governor who was so moved he offered a priceless gift to the temple.
A British governor. Now I really want to hear more.
Each story adds another layer to the mystique, you know?
Oh,
To the enduring power of Sri Varadaraja Swami Temple.
lead the way.
These stories aren't just about, divine intervention.
Right.
They highlight something about Lord Vradaraja.
What's that?
His compassion, his accessibility,
Yeah, okay.
like the story of the saint who couldn't pay his taxes.
That one really got me. What happened there?
So this saint, deeply devoted to Lord Vradaraja, but he finds himself in a predicament. He can't afford to pay his taxes.
Oh, no.
Desperate, he prays to the Lord for help.
I'm guessing the Lord didn't just hand him some cash.
Not quite, but it's a good story.
I'm ready.
The king's tax collectors, they suddenly find their sacks filled with coal
Instead of
the gold coins they'd collected.
of a problem.
They were baffled, frustrated. They went back to the temple.
To complain. Did they ever figure out what happened?
Well, when they got back to the temple, the coal, it transformed back into gold.
Yeah, before their eyes.
Right before their eyes.
What?
The king, he realized there's something divine going on here.
Yeah.
He waived the saint's taxes
Did move.
and declared the temple a tax-free zone.
So not only did Lord Viraja save the saint,
He did.
he secured the temple's future.
That's our Lord Vradaraja.
Impressive.
It tells you something, doesn't it?
About
How far Lord Vradaraja will go to protect his devotees, his temple.
it really does.
And then you have the story of Bhattacharya,
Oh, yes, the elderly devotee
who couldn't travel to the temple.
because
Age, frailty, couldn't make the journey.
this is where Lord Virataraja tilts his procession, right?
That's the one.
I always wondered about the, logistics of that.
Well, during the annual Garuda Seva procession,
Where the Lord is carried atop Garuda.
the king of birds, that's right.
Yeah.
It's said that Lord Virataraja, knowing this devotee's longing,
To see him.
he inclined the procession.
So slightly.
Just enough so that the elderly devotee could have his darshan
From miles away.
from miles away.
Talk about faith affirming.
It's a powerful image.
That connection between deity and devotee, it's real.
It transcends physical limitations for those who truly believe.
And then there's the account of Robert Clive,
Yes, Robert Clive.
the British governor.
In the 18th century,
Not who I was expecting.
he was so moved by the Garuda Seva procession,
Really?
he gifted the temple his wife's necklace.
Hold on, a British governor gifting a Hindu temple a necklace.
It happened. You can still see it on the deity today.
That's wild.
Shows you the reach of this temple, doesn't it?
People from all backgrounds, all beliefs, drawn to this place.
It's universal, that feeling of awe and reverence.
Yeah, let's talk about something truly unique.
I'm ready.
Adi Varadar.
Yes, the one that spends 40 years underwater.
That's the one. Tell me everything.
It's the original idol of Lord Vradaraja,
Okay.
made of thick wood,
And
and it's believed to have been consecrated by Brahma himself.
that's wow.
Adds a whole other layer of sacredness, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
And here's the thing. It spends 40 years submerged in the temple tank,
40 years.
only emerging for 48 days once every 4 decades.
Why? 40 years underwater. There's got to be a reason.
There are a few interpretations.
I'm all ears.
Some say it symbolizes cycles of time, renewal.
Okay.
Others think it's about preserving the delicate fig wood.
Could be both.
Whatever the reason, it's a tradition, centuries old.
Creates a lot of anticipation.
Oh, absolutely. And reverence builds over those 40 years.
When it does emerge, it must be massive.
Millions of devotees. The atmosphere is electric. You can feel the devotion.
Once in a lifetime for a lot of people.
It is. The last time was 2019.
And the next.
Not until 2059.
Wow.
This tradition, it's incredible how it sustains that devotion, generation after generation.
It really is.
And speaking of sustaining traditions, we can't forget the festivals.
Oh, yes. Tell me about those.
They bring the temple to life all year round.
Which one is the most famous?
The Brahmotsavam, 10 days of pure celebration.
2 days.
Unparalleled enthusiasm. You have to see it to believe it.
Give me the highlights.
Streets packed with devotees, the smell of incense, flowers everywhere.
I can almost smell it.
The temple lit up, dazzling.
Sounds amazing.
Each day, a different procession, Lord Virataraja adorned in all his finery.
And carried on.
A different vahana, a vehicle.
Like,
A majestic Garuda vahana, of course.
of course.
The serpent vahana. Even a silver lion vahana.
It's a visual feast, isn't it?
Devotion, mythology, all coming to life.
And the Garuda Seva procession, that's the one where
The Lord is carried atop Garuda.
the king of birds, right? The one Robert Clive was so drawn to.
That's the one, history repeating itself through ritual.
It's fascinating.
But it's not just spectacle.
Right.
These festivals, they're deeply rooted
Yeah.
in the philosophy of Hinduism.
There are opportunities for something more.
To connect with the divine on a deeper level.
So there's a meaning beyond the visual splendor.
Absolutely.
Any other festivals we should know about?
Well, there's the Thapatsavam,
The Potsavam.
where the deities are taken out on the temple tank.
Yeah.
A beautifully decorated raft.
Sounds lovely.
It's stunning. It symbolizes the divine's grace flowing out into the world.
I like that.
And then you have the Udarpalayam festival.
What's that one about?
It commemorates the return of the temple idols.
Return from where?
They were hidden away to protect them from invaders.
Ah, a homecoming.
Exactly.
It's incredible how each festival adds another layer to this temple
It's a rich tapestry, isn't it?
of tradition, belief, all of it.
And all beautifully captured in the hymns and songs inspired by this temple.
Oh, right, the music.
Saints and composers, from the Alvars to Tyagaraja himself,
Tyagaraja, the musical genius.
they poured their devotion into these verses that still resonate today.
The Alvars, those poet saints of South India.
They hold a special place, don't they?
In Vaishnavism.
Absolutely. Their hymns are essential to temple worship.
And several of them wrote about this temple specifically.
Oh yes, Buthath Alvar, for instance.
What did he say?
He addresses the Lord as the one who resides in Athior,
Okay.
the one with Garuda as his chariot, the one who rests on Adisesha, the divine serpent,
Powerful imagery.
elevates Lord Vradaraja to a cosmic level.
And Thirumagai Alvar.
He describes the Lord as having the hue of a dark rain-bearing cloud
Okay.
with a flash of lightning.
I could see it.
He praises him as the one who saved the Vedas from extinction.
Incredible how they use these images, these words, to express their devotion.
It paints a picture, doesn't it?
It really does.
But it's not just praise, it's deeper than that.
What is it then?
It's a longing, a yearning for union with the divine,
To become one with the divine.
to dissolve those boundaries between self and the divine.
Music as a bridge.
Exactly.
And Tyagaraja, what about him?
Well, he's enriched the temple's musical heritage,
With,
soul-stirring compositions. In his famous kriti, Vradaraja Ninukori,
okay,
he expresses his deep desire for the darshan of Lord Vradaraja,
the Sham meaning.
to see the Lord, to be in his presence. He describes Kastigiri, the temple's hill, as a veritable Vaikuntham,
Vaikuntham, that's the...
abode of Vishnu.
So this hill is like heaven on earth.
In a way, yes.
Incredible how one temple can inspire so much.
It's a wellspring of creativity, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We've covered so much.
History, architecture, mythology.
Divine interventions, festivals, music.
And yet,
It feels like we've only scratched the surface.
there's so much depth here, layers of meaning,
More to explore.
always more to contemplate,
This one temple, it's like a microcosm,
of Hinduism itself.
Exactly. History, art, music, faith, all woven together.
And it all connects back to some core ideas in Hindu philosophy,
Like,
Salabhya and Cecilia.
okay, I'm going to need a translation on those.
Sure, Salabhya basically means the divine is easy to access.
Not some distant, unapproachable being.
Right, it's readily available to anyone who seeks it sincerely.
So no matter who you are, where you come from,
You can approach Lord Vradaraja, seek his blessings.
And Cecilia.
That embodies the graciousness of the divine.
Meaning?
The divine responds to devotion with compassion, with kindness.
So Lord Vradaraja isn't just powerful, he's also caring.
He listens, he extends his grace to those who need it.
I like that.
And these qualities, they're everywhere.
In the stories.
In the stories, the mythology, even in the iconography of Lord Vradaraja himself.
How so?
His Abhaya Mudra, the gesture of fearlessness,
Oh,
and
boy.
his Virata Mudra, the gesture of granting boons.
It's all connected.
Art and philosophy woven together.
And these ideas, they resonate, don't they?
They do, not just within the temple walls, but in the lives of the devotees too.
It's about more than just the physical space.
It's about the feeling, the connection.
You mentioned Sri Varadaraja Swami Temple is one of the Divya Desams.
One of the 108, yes.
Sacred to Lord Vishnu.
Mhm.
Did any of the great Vaishnava teachers, the acharyas, have a connection to this temple?
Oh, absolutely. Sri Ramanuja, one of the most influential.
What was his connection?
Deeply connected to this temple. There's even a story.
I love a good story.
It highlights, how the divine cares for its devotees.
Lay it on me.
So the story goes, Ramanuja was guided back to Kanchipuram by Lord Vradaraja himself.
Guided back.
He had been forced to flee, some political turmoil.
Ah.
But Lord Virataraja, recognizing Ramanuja's importance
Important in what way?
in spreading the teachings of Vaishnavism, he wanted him back in Kanchipuram where he could continue his work.
Makes sense.
So Lord Virataraja, disguised as a hunter,
Wait, disguised?
led Ramanuja back to the city through a secret route, kept him safe.
A divine rescue mission.
That's one way to put it.
It shows the bond between the deity and the devotee, doesn't it?
Strong bond. Ramanuja's connection to the temple goes even deeper than that, though.
How so?
It's believed that Lord Vradaraja himself revealed the core tenets of Vaishnavism to Ramanuja.
Oh.
Thirukkachchi Nemagal, the Lord's devoted fan-bearer.
So it's a chain, from divine to devotee to teacher.
Exactly, shaping our understanding of Vaishnavism even today.
Pretty remarkable.
It's a legacy that inspires still to this day.
We've explored so much, the history, the architecture, the stories.
The festivals, the music, it's a lot.
What stands out to you the most about this temple, I mean?
It's the power it has to
What does it
inspire
stand- What?
devotion, awe, a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves.
That's a way to put it.
It's a place where boundaries blur,
Between
the earthly and the divine, history and mythology,
art, music, philosophy.
all coming together, creating something truly special.
It's more than just a building.
It's a living entity, breathing, filled with centuries of devotion, of stories, of lives lived seeking the divine.
As we wrap up our deep dive, I'm struck by, well, by how multifaceted this temple truly is.
It's historical, architectural, a sanctuary.
A source of inspiration for so many.
It really is.
And for those listening, if you were to visit,
What would you seek? What questions would you ask?
how would this ancient temple, with all its layers, speak to your own journey?
It's a journey of faith, of self-discovery.
A beautiful thought to leave our listeners with.
Sri Varadaraja Swami Temple. It invites us to learn, to engage, to find our own meaning within its sacred space.
That's what makes it so special. Until next time, may your journeys be filled with wonder, with knowledge, and with the joy of discovery.